Coming up on DITV, chaos on Capitol Hill. We take you inside the Michael Cohen hearings.
I pray the country doesn't make the same mistakes that I have made or pay the heavy price that my family and I are paying.
And later, another restaurant has moved in downtown. We take you inside this unique burger joint.
We've got a brand new edition of Courtside coming up in sports with a special appearance.
Oh, do you mean me?
Actually, I was talking about Gary Dolphin, but sure.
We're still seeing cold weather and it's almost March. When will this cold weather end? Stay tuned for weather to find out.
All that and more coming up on this Thursday, February 28th edition of DITV.
Don't go anywhere. DITV starts right now. Good morning and thanks for tuning in. I'm Anthony Caligiuri alongside Becca Skadden.
Good morning, Anthony. We have a lot to cover this morning, so let's begin with our top story. As President Trump prepares to do damage control with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, his former attorney Michael Cohen is doing damage to his campaign on Capitol Hill. Cohen called Trump a con man and made other inflammatory comments about the commander-in-chief. The Trump administration came back calling Cohen a felon. In a statement released hours into Cohen's testimony, the campaign says, quote, he offers what he says is evidence, but the only support for that is his own testimony, which is proven to be worthless.
I did things and I acted improperly, at times at Mr. Trump's behest. I blindly followed his demands. My loyalty to Mr. Trump has cost me everything. My family's happiness, friendships, my law license, my company, my livelihood, my honor, my reputation, and soon my freedom.
Since Cohen's hearing began, many people are wondering the status of a possible impeachment. Here's what officials had to say after yesterday's hearing.
I think this raises very serious questions. I still believe we need to finish the investigation. We have to wait for Mueller's report, and we need to see what the Southern District of New York concludes. It seems that there's a lot more in the Southern District of New York than we knew before today. I mean, Michael Cohen said he's cooperated since the earlier testimony, that there's a lot more that the Southern District of New York knows that we don't know. So I think once we have those two reports, then everything has to be on the table.
Stick with us at DITV for all the latest updates as this hearing continues.
A new online verification system may be put into place to prohibit employers from hiring undocumented immigrants. This e-verification system is currently gaining a lot of attention and support in the Iowa legislature. The system, which would be maintained by the Department of Homeland Security, would pick out applicants of those who are not U.S. citizens. This information would be obtained by the I-9 form applicants fill out, as well as the records in the Social Security databases. Federal law states that this procedure is optional, but has gained attention in Iowa after a handful of occurrences have occurred. Most notably, the citizenship status of Christian Bahana Rivera, the man accused of murdering Molly Tibbetts. Supporters of this bill argue that this bill will help identify undocumented immigrants, while the critics say that this system is unreliable. For more on this story, pick up a copy of today's Daily Iowan, where EPI reporter Julia DiGiacomo goes more into depth.
Last night, students and staff inside the Adler Journalism building were interrupted with a fire alarm. Around 8:45, those inside the building were told to evacuate by university police. Firefighters arrived on the scene and swept the building. The cause, a dryer in the basement. Students and staff were allowed back in the building after about a half hour outside in the cold.
And Becca, I was one of those students outside in the cold trying to get this show ready for this morning, but it was a little chilly out there.
Well, you know, Anthony, it was still chilly when I woke up this morning, and I'm hoping maybe now that February's wrapping up, we might finally see some spring temperatures.
Let's hope so. Let's toss it over to Melissa in the weather studio to tell us all about it. Melissa?
Anthony and Becca, it doesn't look like we could put our winter coats away just yet. Temperatures are still looking a bit chilly as we head into the first week of March. Today's weather is going to be pretty mild this morning and into this afternoon. We will see a lot of clouds and a high of 22 degrees. Tonight, temperatures will drop to 8 degrees with possibly some very light winds around 2 miles per hour. Now let's look ahead at the extended forecast. Tomorrow will be cloudy with a high of 32 and a low of 11. In the morning, there's a 20% chance of snow flurries with some light winds during the day, but they will pick up into the evening. Temperatures decrease as we go into this weekend and into next week. Saturday will be in the mid-20s with mild winds around 15 miles per hour. Those winds might drop the nightly temperature of 3 degrees below zero. And late at night, there may be some snow showers. Sunday's high is in the single digits with a 40% chance of morning snow showers. And Sunday, temperatures drop at night into the negatives. Next week's weather on Monday and Tuesday is looking to be partly cloudy with mild wind gusts. Monday's high will be in the mid-single digits, and Tuesday's temperature will be in the mid-10s. It doesn't look like those cold temperatures are ending anytime soon, so stay bundled up. Anthony and Becca, back to you at the desk.
The University of Iowa is requesting to demolish 2 buildings and replace them with green space as part of the UI's master plan. The buildings, located on the 120th block of Clinton Street, date back to the 1900s, but have been victim to wear and tear over time. The university claims that neither of the buildings are historically significant and that it was the university's intention to demolish the buildings all along. As of now, the university doesn't have any plans for the site and will remain green space until a use is determined. The Iowa Board of Regents will vote on the fate of these buildings during their meeting this morning.
A new burger joint has just opened its doors downtown, and DITV's Jake Salter has more.
There's some good news for burger fans in Iowa City. Beer Burger has recently opened up a new restaurant in the location of the late Zombie Burger restaurant. As you could guess by the name, Beer Burger is a restaurant that specializes in beer and burgers, but has other options on the menu as well. And this right here is just one of the many burgers that they have on the menu. The original Beer Burger opened in North Liberty at the end of 2016. This new location is their second restaurant and is much more convenient for UI students and other Iowa City residents.
Business has been great so far. We've definitely picked up with the students coming back, and we've added some new happy hour specials each day, so we've been getting a lot of traffic in for those. Here in Iowa City, we've kind of taken what North Liberty did, made it a little bit smaller, a little cozier, and just more friendly to the Iowa City area.
If you're a burger fan, you may want to check out this new restaurant on Burlington Street. Reporting from the Iowa City Beer Burger, I'm Jake Salter.
Well, Anthony, it is no secret that things got a little crazy in the world of Hawkeye basketball yesterday.
You're right, Becca, and we're sure not experts on all of this, so let's toss it right over to Lucy and Declan in the sports studio to tell us all about it. Guys?
Thanks, guys. Welcome to the Courtside Show. As always, I'm your host, Lucy Rodine. And since Saturday is Senior Day, I brought Senior Declan Lely along to have her own version of Senior Day.
Where's my game ball at?
All right, well, Declan, it's your first Courtside Show, so don't get ahead of yourself. But man, do we have a lot to talk about today, and most of it isn't basketball related.
Yeah, yesterday we heard from Iowa radio broadcaster Gary Dolphin and athletics director Gary Barta for the first time since Dolphin was suspended.
But in reviewing the Iowa-Maryland postgame show, I used a comment, an inappropriate comment or phrase, in attempting to praise a Terrapin player's performance. It was unintentional, but it was wrong, and I recognize that now. I recognize the analogy was unacceptable and inappropriate, and I'm sorry if I offended anyone, anywhere.
And after Dolphin issued his apology, athletics director Gary Barta said that the athletics department should have spoken to the media sooner, and he hopes to learn from that experience.
But that's not the only issue that's put Iowa communications team to work this week.
Yeah, that's definitely right. The Big Ten and Iowa Athletics announced yesterday that head coach Fran McCaffrey would be suspended for the next 2 games following comments he made to an official after Iowa's loss to Ohio State on Tuesday.
Yeah, following the 20-point loss, Fran McCaffrey was overheard yelling at an official in the tunnel where he was calling him a cheater, among not so appropriate other words for TV.
You know, I'm a very passionate person. I think everybody in this room knows and understands that. I love my family. I love my players. It was one of those nights, and my emotions got the better of me. And I apologize for that. I regret that. I'm sorry to Mr. Barta, President Harold, and I accept full responsibility. And I think that's what's necessary.
Now, obviously, Fran didn't handle that situation very well, and the Iowa PR team probably hasn't gotten any sleep the past 6 days. But Declan, what are your thoughts on what we just heard from Coach McCaffrey?
Yeah, he seemed pretty apologetic. I think he's ready to move on. He understands that there's a couple games ready. But more importantly, he's just ready to go out and represent Nick Bear on Senior Day.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's awesome that he's going to be able to present Nick Bear his senior jersey. But at the same time, Fran's been doing this a while. He should know better, and he needs to hold himself to a higher standard and represent the university well. But although the outside noise has never been louder for Iowa basketball, the Hawks still have a game to play on Saturday when Rutgers comes into town just 2 weeks after their first meeting.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest here, Lucy. I know it's been 2 weeks, but I still haven't really gotten over that Wieskamp shot. But it's going to take a lot more lucky shots than that to beat Rutgers on Saturday. What does Iowa have to do to make sure that Rutgers doesn't pull this one out and cover?
Yeah, well, Rutgers, they're looking for revenge because, frankly, Rutgers probably should have won that game 2 weeks ago. So I think they need to be smart with the ball, but most importantly, Rutgers is great on the glass. So Iowa needs to get those rebounds, and I think that comes down to Luka Garza. He's been kind of in a mental funk the past few weeks, so he's really going to need a big performance so Iowa can get those rebounds and take this game. But
Yeah.
Declan, what do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. Offensive rebounding was an issue the last time. That will be the big key coming up on Saturday.
Now, Declan, this is the part of Courtside where we give our predictions for the game. And I don't mean to intimidate you, but I'm 6-1 on the year, so the pressure's on.
Yeah, you are so intimidating.
Well, since you're clearly scared, I'll let you go first. What's your prediction for Saturday's game?
Not only do I think Iowa's going to come out and win this one, I think they're really going to put a beating on Rutgers. They're really going to step on their throats. There's been a whole lot surrounding this team as of late, and I think they're going to back up their coach and really give it to the Scarlet Knights.
I think Iowa's going to win. I think it's going to be a little closer than that just because I don't really know what to expect from Iowa shooting right now. They've been very inconsistent as of late, but I think they're going to take this one too.
All right, glad we can finally agree on something.
And all it took was almost a year. But that's it from us today. Come back tomorrow for a special Farewell to Megan Gustafson women's edition of the Courtside Show with women's basketball beat reporter Natalie Acapelli.
Guys, back to you at the desk before I start to tear up.
Thanks, guys. And before we go today, Becca, this might be the most Iowa thing I've seen in a while.
Yeah, you're right, Anthony. Isaiah Long and Kayla Peterson got married in a Muscatine Hy-Vee this past Saturday. The ceremony included flowers, a wedding party, and 2 ring bearers.
It was during business hours, so some shoppers stopped to check it out. And get this, the wedding was actually part of a store contest.
And it sounds like the couple is genuinely grateful they won.
We entered the contest because, just money is tight. She's working 2 jobs and I'm working, 2 jobs, part-time Navy and at West Liberty Foods. So we just really needed this.
Well, that's awesome. You can't get more Iowa than that, Becca.
Absolutely nothing like a wedding in Hy-Vee. But thanks for tuning in to this Thursday morning edition of DITV.
Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for all the latest updates in news, weather, and sports.
You can also find full articles, stories, and our newscast 5 days a week at dailyiowan.com.
For DITV, I'm Anthony Caligiuri.
And I'm Becca Scadden. Thanks for watching and have a great day, Iowa City. We'll see you right back here tomorrow morning, same time, same place.